the 28th of Shvat marks the Hilula of Rabbi Nissim Peretz Z'tl, one of the great Moroccan rabbis of his time. He will become a great Kabbalist. He will found the Bet El Kehila congregation in Bnei Brak, included a Beit Midrash inside there in of itself, and the synagogue, a yeshiva Ketana called Misilat Yesharim. This was obviously named after Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, the famous Ramchal. He founded a Talmud Torah called the Torat Yeshayahu, also, and a Kolel Avrahim for intensive study with regards to Jewish law, and a midnight Kolel in which, let's say, the top scholars, Talmidei Chachamim and Avrahim, would very much learn in, especially during the midnight hours until sunrise in of itself. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in an area in Morocco, which is spoken about on various occasions before, called Dats in Morocco over there. And remember, on this series already, we've covered about possibly a good, easily 150 great Moroccan Rabbanim. So he was born in on the 6th of Tishrei, happened to be in the year 5707 in the city of Dats in Morocco, and he came from great rabbinic heritage. Rabbi Maimon Peretz happened to be his father, and we've spoken about Rabbi Maimon just quite recently, I believe, inside this series over here, and his mother's name was Rabbanit Solika over there. So when he was 5 years of age, his parents made Aliyah to Israel. They lived in the Yerucham, let's say the transit camp over there in the southern part of Israel in itself. Now it's reported over that one day during the period when he was living inside, let's just say, this place in itself, this Machaneh, really, really terrible anti-Semitic news. Rabbi Nissim was actually kidnapped, it was reported over, along with other children inside the camp by Arabs living in the region. You can see there was always anti-Semitism, even nowadays, unfortunately, and there was back then very much so, unfortunately, at that point in time. Through fast action, it was reported at that time, the group was freed by the army. The day after he was returned from captivity, his father left the camp behind and never returned, obviously because of all anti-Semitism, obviously the horrors that actually occurred over there. And from Yerucham, the family moved to Gan Yavne, it was reported over, where, let's say, at that point in time, the country was resettling new immigrants from Yemen. There was a huge wave of Aliyah from Teman, respectively. And Rabbi Nissim at that stage was very young. He was educated by, let's say, the famous Yemenite Mori, as we give the title to the Rabbi the Mori, and was the only Moroccan in his class, was reported over. So he was very much surrounding himself with very much Yemenite class of children in of itself. Very, very good families, we have to point out also. After a long period, let's say, there was a wave of Moroccan immigrants that came at that point in time to move in the area, and a Talmud Torah was opened for those who had come from Morocco, respectively. Until age 11, he studied in a local school and later moved to a Torah-based yeshiva called the Sharei Shalom yeshiva over there. I think that happened to be in Matmiyah, if I'm not mistaken, over there. I'm not too sure so much about the area. The yeshiva was actually operated by Agudat Yisrael, and was thought of, let's say, as a bastion of the yeshiva at that point in time for children from all over the world. So you've got an excellent education over there in itself. At the head of the yeshiva at that point in time was Rav Tzvi Hosta and Rabbi Shlomo Levi. Rabbi Nissim was obviously was a star student, was so close to them, and I believe at a later stage after they passed away, he would actually give a eulogy with regards to them. Very, very. At that stage in time, it was. And then afterwards, I think after this period, he moved to study in the Nachlat Reuven Yeshiva. This happened to be, I think, in Lomza, and the head of that place was Rabbi Reuven Katz, who happened to be the rabbi of Petach Tikva, a large city actually quite near Tel Avivish. And Rabbi Yosef Bruchman, I think, was also a prominent rabbi over there in himself. The heads of the yeshiva observed that the Rabbi Nissim, how great he was, the potential he had, and they paired him up, also reported with a great avrech at that point in time, to excel his excellent capabilities, excellent potential in of itself. And this really helped enable him to advance in of itself. And I think within a few months, Rav Nissim was very, very much considered as one of the outstanding geniuses of the yeshiva. 1 year after he entered the yeshiva heads entrusted him with a group of boys in order that he could help them advance in their studies. So already, while he was even learning in the yeshiva, was seen as a role model very much to help the other students at that point in time. Over there, he moved to the high school yeshiva, Otzara Talmud, over there, which was headed by Rabbi Ush Pizai, I think, where he spent, I think at that point in time, a year just literally being matmid in a place, like learning full time in of itself. And after a year, with, let's say, he graduated from this certificate, he would actually, unfortunately, the Otzara Talmud Yeshiva would close down. But immediately afterwards, it was reopened in the same building by Rabbi Yaakov Arieli and Rabbi Michael Ehrlich. In of itself, and Rabbi Peretz also would serve as a Maggid Shir in the yeshiva, and he really was occupied within regards to Torah in of itself. I think the Stipler at the time, famous great rabbi, he left the yeshiva, and he would then, I think, eventually move on to the Hebron Yeshiva in Jerusalem, another place after that. Eventually, afterwards, he would get married to the daughter of Rabbi Raphael Abuhav, another great rabbi we've spoken about in this series before. Baruch Hashem, we've spoken about so many rabbis. Now we learn about the history in each video of Andu Chazara within regards to some of the great rabbanim. Rabbi Abuhav was a great rabbi of his time. Many of the great rabbis of Israel came to, let's say, the engagement party and the wedding, and very much was exciting. He would occupy himself after he got married, learning the highest levels of Kabbalah. He would study with Rabbi Mordechai Shirabi, the famous rabbi. Remember the rabbi we visited on this channel before, Yeshivat Nahar Shalom. He was a Rosh Yeshiva over there. And it was reported over about more than 30-40 years ago around, he founded the Bet El congregation in Bnei Brak, which included a Bet Midrash and a synagogue and a yeshiva called Misilat Yesharim over there, a Talmud Torah called Torat Yeshayahu, also a Kollel Avraham, and a midnight Kollel also, so very much encompassing the whole Torah daily schedule in of itself. And very much he was an expert within Kabbalah and gave a lot of advice within regards to it, like what is Kabbalah useful for, how does it operate, and so much for. I think during the sadly during the final period of his life, it was reported that he suffered from health problems, and he passed away, I believe. I think this was come out the year 2012. He passed away, the great Rabbi did. And it's his look here. I believe he was buried in Bnei Brak, if I'm not mistaken. He passed away definitely passed away in Bnei Brak. He was one of the great rabbis of his time. Don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. Friends, we are a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis, Oriental rabbis. Yes, he passed away 13 years ago here from time of recording. Here we are in 2025 already. I'd recommend everyone to check out the video we did on Rav Maimon Peretz, another one of his close relatives, and learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you feel anyone is interested in watching these videos, please share the videos to other people. Wishing you well, take care, and blessings here from Israel. Take care and be well.